So just stay out of the courthouse. It just doesn't do you any better. Yes, ma'am.
When was your next, you said Studio City?
Studio City on February 28th, it's Saturday. It's all-day class, 9 to 4,
28.
February 28th. Yeah.
Can you explain again how it avoids the joint sale clause?
Yeah, the title still stays where it's at. Think of it this way. We typically think of real estate as one thing. It's really two things. It's ownership and debt. Can I buy a property, sign on a mortgage, I get from these wonderful folks, and you own the house? I could do that, couldn't I? So the fact that one person or entity owns the property is different than who owes the debt on the property. If you transfer title to a land trust, the debt is still there. The mortgage is still recorded. The lender's still protected. We're not talking about trying to screw any lenders here. We're just trying to protect the title, which is probably to the lender's benefit as well. Because they don't like lawsuits and foreclosure actions and all that either. Yes, ma'am?
I have clients that are either elderly or they're business professionals that they just don't have time. Do you know anybody that actually can step in and do this for them? I have a 78-year-old client in Pasadena.
Yeah.
That she's trying to set up a will and stuff right now, but she's confused on what to do.
Yes, I've got a lady attorney associate of mine in San Diego, licensed attorney in the state of California, and she can do it for them. Yeah, in fact, she uses my trust agreement, so
Okay.
we're real familiar with our forms. Yes.
In buying subject to, I've heard it's best to use a warranty deed. How can that be worked together with that?
Well, the deed in trust is a warranty deed plus. It just has some little extra verbiage, but it still has all those guarantees that you get from a warranty deed. It just also says things like the interest is being transferred as personal property, that the trust is holding personal property, not real estate. But other than that, you get all the same guarantees.
And also it's recommended to not record the warranty deed. Do you know why? And how does that differ from what they're talking about?
Well, yeah, I don't know why you'd not want to record the deed. I can understand why you might not want to record a payoff. You know, anybody ever paid off a loan in here and you get this, you get a document to take to the recorder's office to record saying you don't owe the debt anymore? Yeah, conveyance. What if you didn't record that? What if you just stuck that in your back pocket and didn't record it? What happened? Kind of looks like you still owe money, doesn't it? But you don't. Kind of puts you more in the driver's seat there. They look you up online, looks like you got all this debt.
Seems like it'd be good to stop people from suing you, but it would make it hard to get a loan if you ever want to get a loan.
Pull it out of your back pocket, record it. Pull it out of your back pocket, record it. These are some of the things that I'll talk about in the class that will not be recorded. We'll get into the really good stuff when we don't have the recorder on. Yes? Yes.
Should you have the notarized?
The trust agreement, I think you're talking about. You don't legally have to have the trust agreement notarized, but I do recommend it. Because think of it this way, if you're up front of a judge and the judge looks at this trust agreement and says, well, Mr. Hughes, when was this trust formed? Well, Your Honor, it was 10 years ago, can't you see? I don't see any notary on here, and all I have is your word, Mr. Hughes, and I'm not sure I believe you. But if it's notarized, then I can say, bingo, it's proof it was formed 10 years ago. Because judges don't like it when you try to do things last minute. See, asset protection is not something you wait until the wolf is at the door. I get a call once a week from somebody, oh, can you help me? I'm being sued. I said, no, it's too late. You can't buy fire insurance on your house when it's on fire. It doesn't work that way. Naming your trust. Naming your trust is my favorite part of the seminar. That's where I have the most fun. Because you can name your trust pretty much anything you want within reason. You can't, of course, violate copyright laws and that sort of thing. But I could name my trust the Orange and Blue Land Trust 1, 2, 3, 4. I could name it the East Coast, West Coast Global Investment Fund. I could name it,
He just graduated from last year.
pardon?
He walked.
On Lucy.
Oh, yeah, he-
Oh, Aunt Lucy.
So we can attach and connect it to
In my last class, I had a guy, a real creative guy, he said, why don't I name my trust the California Trial Lawyers Trust? What are we getting at here? It's a matter of perception, isn't it? Now, if you go to your standard attorney that doesn't really care about your assets like you do, who didn't study in this law school and doesn't think out of the box, he's going to tell you, oh yeah, put 10 properties into one land trust, that's a great idea. And let's name the land trust the Randy Hughes Trust number 1, 2, 3, 4. You get that kind of advice. What I'm telling you is do just the opposite. You want to name your trust something that sounds intimidating. Something that sounds like it might bite back. Because the reason why attorneys don't like suing trusts is they don't know the horsepower behind it. You don't know who the beneficiary is until you get into court. So is it little old Randy Hughes that's beneficiary of this trust? Or is it big, big corporation that has 20 lawyers in their law department just waiting to sue you back? They don't know. They're going to roll the dice. Chances are they might go on down the road and find another sucker that hasn't used the trust. Which is probably what they'll do. Yes, sir.
So would you say if you had 20 properties, each property should have a different name on the trust?
Each a different name, different number. And that's the fun part. You get to create it. What if I named it the, no, stick with me on this. Don't get mad. We'll discuss it. What if I named it the Disabled Children's Equity Fund? You really want to sue disabled children? Now, why would you name your trust that? If you're up on the stand and the judge says, why did you name your trust that, Mr. Hughes? What would your answer be?
Because I give partial charity to that.
Bingo. You got to have an answer, and you got a great answer there. My reason for forming this trust was to make money in real estate, and part of it, 5% or 10%, whatever it is going to go to the disabled children of California. I think that's admirable.
And then you should do it, and then you
And you
could show
should-
proof with the receipts
exactly.
from your taxes that you actually
Exactly.
contributed to that foundation. That's great, that's awesome.
Yeah.
How many times do you have to do that?
It depends on what your goals are in life, I think, but I have some students in California, and the guy called me up a couple years ago, and he said, I bought a new apartment building, Randy, I'm forming the trust, and I'm just having trouble coming up with the name of the trust. What would you recommend? I said, well, this is kind of kicking around here. I said, what is your heritage? He said, I'm Armenian. He said, what's your wife's heritage? She's Jewish. I said, okay, what if you named your trust the Armenian-Jewish California Investment Fund? ESQ, period.
ESQ what?
ESQ, period. Now, if you're just a contingency fee lawyer, you're trolling the waters today looking for somebody to sue, and believe it or not, that happens every day. They're sitting behind the desk trolling the waters looking for a fish. And you come across that trust. You're thinking, who am I going to sue today? You come across that trust. What does it make you think? Who do you think is behind that trust?
Lawyer.
Armenian, Jewish, lawyers, ESQ. Tough guys. Kind of like the trial lawyer's name. You really want to sue a bunch of lawyers? Lawyers have a leg up on us, don't they? They don't pay legal fees. They got a leg up on us from day one. You don't want to sue a lawyer. You pay, they don't. So naming your trust is a lot of fun. And we'll give them numbers. I go through this in the all-day course. I'll teach you how to number it. There's a whole creative philosophy behind just coming up with the numbers for them, so we'll have a lot of fun. So the question is, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna protect, your future, your college education for your kids, your house, your boat, your car? You're here today spending time and effort to learn how to create wealth, right? Through real estate. All I'm saying is just take a little bit of time and a little bit of cash to learn how to protect that wealth. What I've got is a proven system. It's easy to do. And it teaches you how to create land trusts for the rest of your life at no cost. There's no upsell here. It's it. One last testimonial, if you will. This is Teresa.
Hi, I'm Teresa, and I'm a real estate investor in Miami. And I took the land trust course today on Saturday, and I learned more about land trusts in the last 24 hours than I have ever dreamed of. It was very short, very concise, very to the point, and now I feel like that I can go out and do all my investments, be protected, and make sure that my business is secure and that my family is secure. So thank you, Randy.
You're welcome. This is creative thinking, isn't it? I mean, have you ever heard any of this kind of stuff? Other than the fact that you think I'm totally crazy at this point. You got to admit there's some logic to this, isn't there? I've been doing this for a long, long time, folks. It really does work and allow you to sleep better at night. You get hard copies of the forms and you get soft copies, in other words, on the form CD. The value of that, you just buy it separately. You get the one-day training videos, DVDs, come with the home study course if you can't come to the class on the 28th. If you buy those separately, it's that. You get the trust agreement, the deed of trust, all the forms you need, which if you go out and buy that from an attorney or something, it'll cost you about that. Oh, you gotta hear from this guy. I'm sorry, I told you it was the last one. This guy's real short. This guy's in college.
My name's TJ. I'm from Illinois. I'm 21 years old and I'm a senior in college. I recently acquired a piece of land down in Florida, and I knew a little bit about land trusts, but not much. After finding some research and doing some online, I came across Randy's website. I wasn't too sure about it all at first, but I did call him because he had his number on the webpage, and I eventually bought the Land Trust Made Simple home study course. The course was great, and I was actually able to make my own land trust 100% by myself, no attorneys involved, no realtors involved, and that's me with very little real estate experience. If I can do it, anyone can do it, and I want to reassure you that it is well worth the money.
That's something. That's good. 21 years old.
That's good.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
If the land is not, the property is not under your name, can you still have the tax benefits when those terms and conditions?
Yes. Yeah, the tax benefits flow through that trust to you as a beneficiary. So you get the same benefits. There's no difference whether it's in trust or not in trust. So if you add all that up, it's over $1,600. I will offer to you today a home study course for $525. If you can find an attorney that will set this up for you, that's your first challenge. They'll charge you roughly $1,000 to $1,500, depending on what part of the country you're in, to create one trust for you. $525 will give you information that you can use the rest of your life and never have to pay it again. I do have a money-back guarantee, 100%, 30 days. If you don't think it's what I told you it was, just send it back to me. I don't care. I do have some bonuses for you, though, that I offer only when I speak. I'm the only guy on the planet writing a land trust newsletter. So I'll give you a 1-year subscription to that. I've arranged for a one-on-one strategy session with an asset protection specialist. Linda knows him. He's in Belize right now. And he can help you set up a corporation or an LLC in any state if you so desire. There's no commitment there on your part.
He did find out.
He did. I remember that. So, if you get all this, I'll also throw in a membership to my Land Trust University, which incidentally, that is a typo, $297. It's supposed to be $797. If you go to my website right now and look it up, it's $797 per year I charge people who belong to the Land Trust University. And it involves a lot of things that you may or may not be interested in, but I'll give you a one-year membership for free if you get the home study course today or sign up for the seminar today. If you do it tomorrow, I won't. So, total value is $1,944, $525.
What's your best price?
That is my best
What if you have a
price. I came
partner?
1,600 miles, that's my best price.
What if you have a partner that you work with? Are you able to, or is it just $525 per person?
That's a good question. I have people that do that all the time, and no, I'm pretty loosey-goose about that. If you want to buy this and split it with a partner, that's fine with me. I'll put you both in my database, so you'll have access. What I do is I do a coaching call once a month on a Saturday morning for 1 hour, and I have my students from all over the country call in, and we talk about these kind of discussions like we've had today. And I think you'll be amazed at what we talk about. We record all those sessions, and I'll give you access to the last 5 years of recordings too.
I'd also like to add that if you call Randy outside that Saturday, he actually answers the phone. Most
Yeah.
people don't.
Yeah, it's
Okay? He's
pretty
there
crazy.
available for you.
It's pretty crazy, yeah. I do just as much as I can. I love talking about trust. I love helping people, especially real estate investors, since that's what I've been my whole life. I've seen all the pitfalls. I've seen people lose everything. I've got a cop friend in Columbus, Ohio, that lost everything because a child fell out of a window onto the ground, didn't die, but was disabled, and they sued. I'm not saying he shouldn't have been compensated, but they took everything from this guy. He had 10 apartment buildings. They one at a time took all of them away. What was his problem? He did not have a screen in the window. That was his liability. Well, I don't know about you guys, but I don't go around to my rentals every day and check to make sure the screens are in all the windows. So that just shows you just how liable we are. Because there wasn't a screen in the window, that child fell out, and they sued him. His insurance, you talk about insurance? Well, I got insurance. Yeah, right. Insurance company writes a check for the maximum, and you're on your own.
Yeah, that's what happened just to my parents in Ventura. They were
Good.
sued, and she said the water turned from cold to hot. She was burned, but the insurance paid $1 million, and everything over $1 million my parents were responsible for.
There you go.
And $500,000 out of their pocket. And we looked into her after, of course, it was too late.
She was a pro.
And she was a pro at it. This was her 7th lawsuit.
That happens all the
Yeah,
time.
And yeah,
All
it's
the
terrible,
time.
because my parents worked so hard all their life, and then $500,000 they had
That's
to
it.
pay.
You know, that's what I'm talking about. I'm 63 years old. I want to get to this point in life. I've worked for the last 43 years of what I got. I don't think anybody should just walk in and take that from me. But that happens. And that's a real
Within
depressing
3
thing to
months.
happen to.
Of their whole life,
Their
they're
whole
in their
life.
70s, and in 3 months that happened.
In 3 months. So this is serious stuff. I've tried to make it as interesting and as lighthearted as I can, because it can be boring stuff too. But it is serious, it's important. If you're going to invest in real estate, you need to learn how to protect that. Okay? So I'll stick around. All I need you to do, if you want to come to the seminar, is fill out this green application. If you want the home study course, fill this out on the back, and we'll get you signed up and going. Okay?
No, let us, you buy that, is class comes with it?
Yes, I will do that since we're here and we're close. I don't normally do that, but if you get the home study course, you can come to the seminar also for free. I normally charge for both. But since we're close and I'm here, I'm not going back, so
Do you have
That's a great deal.
American Express?
yeah, take American Express.
You ask one.
Okay, just fill this out here, please. And then I'll know you're going to it. So any last questions? Yes, sir?
So wholesaling under a land trust, what's the benefit of that, doing it out of an LLC?
If you have an LLC and you put more than one property in there,
Yeah.
you can't wholesale one property out of the LLC. You need it in a separate entity.
Okay.
to be able to wholesale it. Same thing as if you're doing a contract sale that I talked about earlier. You can't do a contract sale if more than one property's in one entity.
Okay.
So you need everything in a separate entity so you have flexibility. You want to get financed, separate entity. You want to sell it on a contract, separate. See what I mean? It gives you a lot more flexibility to keep each property in a separate entity. And
those
it's
are
too
free.
expensive to do it in an LLC.
Right, those separate ones are free that you're talking about.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, I hope you guys learned something today. I had a lot of fun. I hope you did too.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Randy. Excellent, excellent job. Thank you. And Randy is going to be over here. You can come over and talk to him about, signing up for anything that you want. Thank you very much, Randy.
Thanks for having me.
And we've got a little bit of time here now. What I've heard from Maria is that there's people out in the hall talking about wanting to have a party in this room and hoping that they can get in here soon. So what we're going to do is we're going to push the limit because Cliff is here. We're going to get him up here speaking, and we're going to let them come in here and chase us out when they do. And tell them we're going to ignore them and just go on for Cliff for at least a half hour.
Oh, I'm good at that.
Okay. So what we're going to do is kind of switch gears, give you guys about 5 or 10 minutes, get over here, get with Randy, get going on that while we kind of get Cliff's stuff in place, and we'll go for another half hour here with Cliff, okay?